All right. What's up, guys? We are live. Let me see here. Let me make sure everything is good to go on my end. Let me see here. Let me. All right. What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me make sure everything is good here. Hold on one sec. I am. Man, we got a lot of stuff going on. Hold on. Oh, hey, yeah, you can just put it right here. Or right here, actually. Right here, better. Thank you. What's up to the stream, guys? I'm monitoring this thing, making sure it's good. Pretty good quality, right, guys? All right, I'm looking right now. Doesn't look bad at all. Sweet. All right, let me see the sound is good. All right, cool. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream, man. Sorry for the delay. I literally just woke up. I know a bunch of you guys are gonna make fun of me, say you overslept or whatever. But I slept, literally, guys, the first time like all week with a good sleep. I'm here in Connecticut right now, guys. So I'm gonna be going back to New York probably tonight. Well, not tonight, but tomorrow morning, technically. Tomorrow morning, to catch the trial, what's going on. So that's gonna be good. So that is what's going on. Are you on Twitch too? No, I'm not on Twitch, guys. I am not on Twitch right now. They banned me for no reason, bro. Fucking annoying. Um, let's see here. Let me look at this. I'm on World Star. Oh man, really? Let's see here. I'm looking through some of these chats here. Yeah, guys, I literally okay, there we go. Okay, now I can see the chats. Okay, we got two super chats. We got one from King Rich says, "My boy taking care of everything. Appreciate that." Cornell says, "Myron, you visiting your fam and checking on your RE or real estate?" No, I just came to see my parents, man. Say what's up to them. Um, so that's what I'm here to do. I'm gonna go get a workout in about an hour with my brother. So I'm not gonna be on stream too long, guys. I'm gonna talk, be on stream probably for about an hour, a little over an hour, and then we're gonna go ahead and definitely cover the Diddy stuff. Okay. Let's see here. Someone said give a room tour. No, I'm not gonna give a room tour. I'm not gonna give a room tour, guys. Not on this one. Okay. Let's see here. Is every now, guys? Give me O slashes if video and audio is good. Give me O slashes if audio and video is good. It looks good on my end. Um, my folks got some pretty good internet. I'm surprised. So, give me O slashes. Everything is good. Jim streaming with my brother. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't. You guys already know I don't like to record my workouts. I think that shit's weird. I really don't enjoy doing it. It's a hospital occurrence. That's great. No, this isn't my childhood home, guys. I own my childhood home actually, but it is not my childhood home. I rent it. I own it, and it was actually my childhood home is the home I actually bought, my first real estate property, and I'm renting it out right now. So, yeah. So anyway, hold on, I got some coffee here. My mom hooked it up and got me some. I don't know. Look at this shit. I don't even know what this is. Anyway, Okay. Quality's good. All right. Awesome. 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 So I had my face right up on the camera. My bad, guys. All right. Let me just get this coffee real quick. Give me one sec, chat. And then we're going to get into this thing. Pouring it real careful, man. Yeah, this is, look at this. This is what my mom gave me just now. Bro, what the hell is this? I don't even know what this is, but whatever. Anyway, she made me some coffee just now. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and recap the Diddy stuff, okay, guys? We are going to recap it. I'm gonna go take you guys through Monday all the way to Friday, what went down, so you guys get a good idea of what happened. I'm gonna I got my notebook here with all my notes. So if you guys see me looking down or whatever, that's what I'm gonna be looking at. And that's kind of what it is. Let's see here. We got Cornell, $1 says, Myron, time to start developing units. Buying homes are great, but owning land and units are better. Developing is less expensive. That's actually not true whatsoever. Developing is way more expensive, bro. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Developing is way more expensive. Okay. So let's go into Monday, right? So Monday, the first thing that happened on Monday, guys, was opening statements. Okay. And as you guys know, Diddy is being charged with sex trafficking. Well, let's look at the official charges real quick for you guys. Diddy official charges, right? So let me see if I can pull up the indictment real quick. Okay. So the official charges, guys, racketeering conspiracy, count one. Count two, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Count three, transportation to engage in transportation. And that's pretty much it. Let me make sure this is, which indictment is this one? Came out what day? September 19, 2024. Well, that's when he was arrested. Because I think they did a superseding indictment as well. But whatever. So count one, racketeering conspiracy. Count two is sex trafficking by force. Three, transportation to engage in prostitution. Okay? So, and we know victim one is Cassie, more than likely. Okay? Because in the indictment it mentions victim number one. So, so they gave the jury instructions, right? On the first day that I was there, they gave jury instructions, and then they went ahead and gave opening statements, okay? And in opening statements, right, to summarize for you guys, the government was saying that Diddy used violence, coercion, and did this over multiple states over decades, where he would engage in these freak offs, where he would use force, coercion, his power, his status, his position as a music mogul, where he had a ridiculous amount of leverage and power to basically get these people and put them in positions where they need to be able to engage in these freak offs, and they felt like they couldn't say no, right? And um, they said that he did this for a period of time. Now, it's important for you guys to realize that this is a RICO case, and the reason why it's a RICO case is because they're using the RICO to bring in all the crimes from 20 years ago. As we saw with Cassie's testimony, they were talking about things as early as 2005 in some cases, 2005, 2006, 2007. They started dating in around 2007, right? So for them to be able to bring all this stuff in, which is significantly past most statute of limitations for crimes, they had to ensure that that they use the RICO statute to bring these crimes in, so that they can actually be able to get in for everything. And like I described before, guys, when it comes to RICO, the way that they're able to bring RICO in a lot of the times is they need to show a pattern of racketeering activity over a period of time. So if you're committing crimes, right, that are considered patterns of racketeering, which is like sex trafficking, drug trafficking, conspiracy, violent crimes, arson, any of this stuff, which they actually did use arson as one of the crimes for the racketeering. If you're able to establish that they're doing this crimes or these crimes that constitute under racketeering for a period of time, you can go ahead and bring everything together. Okay, that's how you're able to get around the statute of limitations. That's what they did in this case because they said that he was doing this for a very long time. So basically, so that's what the government was alleging here. They talked about the arsons. They talked about the violence. They talked about how he beat Cassie. They talked about how he had that woman Jane, who the court does not know what her real name is yet. We'll see when she takes a stand. They mention all the witnesses that they have, Cassie, etc. And they also mentioned how he used to abuse his employees as well. So all of that was mentioned in the opening statement, and they said, look, by the time this this trial is over, we will have proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Sean Combs was in fact guilty of the crimes that I mentioned to you guys in the indictment. Okay, and that's kind of how it started. That's how the government opened up. And let me see if I missed anything here from my notes. Give me 1 second, chat. Yeah, so they start opening statements at 10:40 a.m. 20 years of crimes, one night. They talked about how Diddy threw her down at the bottom of the car and stomped on her. If you guys remember that with Cassie. What the evidence will show that he created an empire. He had bad boy records that made him rich, and he relied on his inner circle, bodyguards, chiefs of staff, security guards, etc., to allow him to be able to do this stuff without getting caught for all this time. Which I will tell you guys, it's actually crazy how Diddy got away with this for so long and never got exposed for this. He did this for 20 years without anyone knowing, and this is why the case is so explosive when it comes to what's going on, because a lot of people can't believe that he was doing this for so long and never got caught. That's why the trial is so explosive, and all this information that comes out is like bombshell stuff, right? So it's actually incredible to see um, all this stuff play out in an open courtroom. Okay, so the defense gave their opening statements roughly almost an hour later at 11:20 a.m. and basically they said the government is trying to spin a relationship into a sex trafficking case. They're going to give the background on Diddy's success. They talked about how he made a bunch of money and he, was self-made. And then the important thing in the opening statements, which I want to bring to your guys' attention, I think one of the most important things that the defense brought up in the opening statements was they talked about how Diddy was taking accountability. And they said that he was taking accountability, that he was jealous, he was angry, um, he was violent. He had a drug problem. He had an alcohol problem. But the defense came back and said, look, though he engaged in his sexual, promiscuity and cheating and infidelity and the jealousy and everything else like that, being kinky and sexual choices doesn't make it illegal. And they went into how this was a very toxic relationship. It was a very combative relationship. There were problems, obviously, in a relationship, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a sex trafficking case. And that's what the defense was trying to say, that he's not necessarily a human trafficker. Rather, this is a case of really bad domestic violence. That's what the defense was trying to say here. And they're saying, look, Diddy is taking accountability by saying that he could, by admitting to his faults of the violence, the drug use, etc. Cassie needs to take accountability, and the victims, because they were adults and they were consenting. That's what the defense was trying to spin it as. Let's see here. They also mentioned how Cassie still went to the funeral services for Kim Porter after all the alleged abuse happened. Um, and they never saw each other after the funeral service. And then she comes back years later trying to say that he raped her and the sex trafficking and everything else like that. So that's the argument that the government, the defense was making when it comes to this situation with Diddy. Let's see here. They talked about how she made a demand for $30 million. There was no kidnapping. There was no arson. The drugs are personal use. And yeah, they concluded around 12:15. So when they concluded around 12:15, we broke for lunch. And then at 1:45, Officer Florez, who was a security guard at um, Intercontinental, excuse me, was the first witness. Let me look at chat here, guys. Before I get into this security guard, let's see. We got TPC Films. If P Diddy beats this case, can ATF go after him for having guns with scratched off serial numbers? Good question. Yes, they can. It probably won't be the ATF. It'll probably be HSI that does it. But I'm surprised that they didn't. I'm really surprised they didn't charge him with the obliterated serial number. But then again, they're probably looking at it like there's no point to charge him with the obliterated serial number because they got all these other way more serious charges. So yeah. Let's see here. Okay, I think we're caught up on that stuff. Guys, do me a favor. Got 2,000 you guys watching right now. Like the video. You know, I apologize for starting the stream late. I literally first night I was able to get like some really good sleep in a very long time. So yeah. All right, let me see here if we have anything else. I'm going through the chats. All right, cool. And I'm using this, streaming this on my phone right now, chat. So let me see here. Yeah, you can Rumble rant in, guys. Castle Club. I actually am getting all the Castle Club and Rumble chats here, so now I can see what the hell's going on. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, let me 1 second. Bear with me, guys. Let me make sure I have the sleep mode on. Okay, boom. All right, that way nobody interrupts the stream. Okay. Now let's get into the security guard, right? So the security guard, guys, his name is Officer Florez. I think he's an LAPD officer now. I came in at the beginning, not when they swore him in. I came in like maybe 5 or 10 minutes in when he was testifying, but I got most of the good stuff. Yes, I can see the YouTube chat. I can see the YouTube chat and everything else as well. So, so they with him, they spent a lot of time with him on what happened on the incident March 5th, 2016. As you guys know, they had that infamous incident where Diddy attacked Cassie. And for those of you that don't know, right? Cassie Diddy hotel. So here Cassie is, right? Make that big. There you go. Here Cassie is for you guys. Then you're going to see Diddy running out. He runs out, grabs her, throws her. Right? Then he kicks her. Then he drags her back that way. So anyway, this attack. And as you guys know, this attack was like one of the most important pieces of evidence that the government presented. So when they brought this guy in from Intercontinental Hotel, he testified to that. Because at the time, back then, he was a security guard at the hotel. So March 5th, 2016, right? So they asked him what happened. He said he got a call that a woman was in distress on the 6th floor. He got contacted by Instant Services, which is a service where which is basically where the the person calls the hotel and they put him through to Instant Services and he can make whatever request. And that was when Cassie, as you guys could see, she's on the phone And I'll show you the part where she's on the phone right here. So you guys see her walking after Diddy tried to grab her, right? You're gonna see her walk over to the phone and pick it up. Bam. That's what you call instant services, right? So we have that on video to confirm what the guy said is true. So he gets the call. He looked at the cameras. He goes up to the 6th floor, and that's when he saw Diddy and Cassie there. Okay, and he said when he got up there, he said Diddy had a devilish stare in his eyes. And Diddy called her CC. He destroyed the flower vase because there was a flower vase on the side, and he destroyed it. Um, and then what he ended up doing was he said, right, this is very important. So he says Cassie wanted to leave. But then he says, Diddy said, no, you can't leave, right? So they go back and forth. Eventually, they go back to the room. He goes with Diddy and Cassie back to the room so she can get her stuff. Because remember, guys, in the video footage I just showed you, what did Diddy do? He knocked her down, he kicked her, then he took her stuff and he went back to the hotel room. So, and he took her bag and her purse. And allegedly, the argument happened over something on her phone. They're in the middle of a freak off, and he got mad at something that he saw on her phone, or he wanted to see her phone. She didn't want to let him, whatever the hell it was. So either way, he took the security guard goes back with Cassie and Diddy. So he opens the door slightly and he says that he sees another individual, a third individual in the room, a male. Okay, and Cassie goes in there, gets her stuff, comes out, and then he goes with her in the elevator and takes her down to valet. Then, as he takes her to valet, some individual comes and picks her up. Right now, it's important to note that he wrote an incident report about this. All right. He wrote an incident report about this. So in the incident report, he wrote that he didn't mention the third individual in the room. He didn't. Oh, he also said that he saw Cassie with a black eye. The security guard says that he saw Cassie with a black eye. So three important things from his testimony to summarize for you guys. He saw a male in the room when he went back over there in the Intercontinental to help Cassie get her stuff. Cassie had a black eye. And then finally, Diddy said you can't leave. When talking to Cassie, you can't leave. Now, he prepared an incident report, okay, for the hotel. In the incident report, he did not mention the black eye. He said in the incident report, he says that Diddy told her to leave versus what he said on testimony saying Diddy told her not to leave, okay? The incident report says that he told her to leave. And then the incident report did not mention this third individual in the room, okay? So when defense comes in and cross-examines him, Brian Steele is the one that cross-examined him. And if you guys don't know, this guy right here, I'm trying to blow it up for you guys real quick. This guy, you can see him there with Young Thug. This guy cross-examined the guy. All right, he was Young Thug's lawyer in the famous YSL RICO case. So anyway, he comes up and now he cross-examines the security guard. And man, anyone that's a lawyer or anyone that likes like this, true crime stuff or whatever, or likes to see arguments in court, this guy Brian Steele literally kind of embarrassed him. So he says, "Hey, I have your incident report here," because obviously during discovery they got everything, and he asked him, "So you said my client told Cassie that she couldn't leave?" "Yes." "Well, why in your report? Why in your report does it say Cassie told her to leave?" Didn't really have too much of an answer for that. He's like, "Well, at first he told her she couldn't leave. Then he then he told her to leave, etc." Right? He was saying that they were going back and forth. It's like, okay, well, I find it interesting that your testimony says that my client told her she couldn't leave, but in your report, where you wrote the report hours after the incident and it was still fresh in your head, you wrote in there that he said for her to leave. Okay, very important distinction, guys, that Brian was able to point out. Right? Next, he said, you said that my client that you saw Cassie with a black eye. And he said yes. We said purple. In court, he said it was like purple. but we know what that means, a black eye basically. But he said it was a purple eye, right? And Brian's like, okay, well, if you saw her with a purple eye, why did you put it in your report? And he was like, well, I didn't think it was, pertinent at the time, right? And he's like, well, if you're a security guard at the Intercontinental, don't you think you would document something like that for liability purposes? And the security guard didn't really have like a good answer, right? So, um, so that was interesting. Also, he asked him, why didn't you mention this third individual that was in the room? And he said, oh, because, I didn't think it was pertinent. It's like, oh, okay. And the other thing too is that the incident report that this guy wrote was really poorly written, chat. Really poorly written. So he ended up making him look really dumb. Okay, Brian Steele, this guy. Granted, he was there when it happened. But I think the defense did a really good job of cross-examining him. But the video doesn't lie, right? In the government's defense, the video doesn't lie. It made Diddy look terrible. It's really bad. There's no excuse for grabbing her and throwing her on the floor, whatever. But again, the defense is claiming this is not sex trafficking. This is a willing participant that was involved in a very toxic relationship. That's their stance on this, right? So, I got my little Arab tea here, or coffee, sorry. Let's see here. Now we'll get into the second witness. Hold on, bear with me, guys. Before we get into the second witness, I gotta go ahead and pour some of this coffee in here, man. It's interesting because I go back home, my mom has all this random shit here, like like these nice little trinkets that women typically have. And then she also got me some she has a juicer. So she took oranges, legit oranges, and just juiced them. And this is and it's real good. I don't know. I usually don't like orange juice. This is some good orange juice because it's actually real oranges, nothing else. No, Tropicana or any of that other BS. Anyway, and then let me look at the chats here. We got here TBC Films. If P. Diddy starts this case, okay, nope, we got that. Cornell says, knowing what you know about the government, do you think we should trust them or believe them? Well, I'll tell you this. This is a big case for them, so they're going to absolutely try to go take this all the way to the end. Is it claimed that he was trafficking the strippers or Cassie? Both. Both. Good question, Drewski. Mary says, did you hear about the Mexican streamer girl in Mexico being killed live? You know what? I did hear that in passing. Someone did mention that. I think I was scrolling on Twitter and someone mentioned it. In Tijuana, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think I did hear about that. It was a couple of days ago. All right. So the second witness, guys, was a guy named Daniel Phillip, second government witness. Daniel Phillips, okay? He is a escort. He's a male review. His title was he was a male review stripper, but basically he ended up becoming one of the escorts. He was a male escort from 2012 to 2013 for Diddy and Cassie. They first met at the Gramercy Park Hotel. He went there after 12 a.m. Basically, Cassie opened the door and she asked him to come inside. She told him that she had her husband there, and they rubbed baby oil on each other. And he didn't know it was Cassie at this first night. And also, mind you, it's important to note that when this guy came, Daniel Phillips, to the hotel, it was Cassie that requested him. Cassie contacted his boss, which I think this guy worked for some stripper agency. So Cassie contacted his guy, and they didn't have any strippers at the time, and he was the only one available. So he ended up going himself, and that's how he met Cassie. This dude, Daniel Phillips. Okay, Cassie told him that her husband was there. He wasn't gay and it wouldn't touch him, and she paid him a few thousand. They went into the main living room area suite. They had bottles of baby oil and Astro Glide and candles. There was an individual, when he went in there, he claims that he saw an individual wearing a bandana, a hat, a white robe, and Cassie referred to him as baby. Now, the bandana, he claimed it was over his face. chat. So he had a bandana covering his face like this, and he had a hat on. So you couldn't see anything, maybe just his eyes. And the room was dimly lit, okay, from what the guy's saying. So just imagine this, chat, right? You're a stripper, you get this random phone call. Hey, I want you to be a stripper for my for a bachelorette party, because that's what Cassie originally called, saying, "Hey, I want a stripper for a bachelorette party." He gets there, it's not a bachelorette party, and she tells him, "Hey, it's not a bachelorette party, but do you mind coming in anyway?" Whatever. He's like, "Okay, whatever. I'm here." Right. So he goes in, and then it's like a hotel room, dimly lit. She's like, "Oh, by the way, my husband's here, but he's not gay. He's just gonna watch." Right. Um, and there's like candles and there's fucking baby oil all over the place and shit like that. Like, what would you think in your head? Like, what the hell? And then you walk in the room and some dude sitting there with a hat and a bandana over his face like this. Like, bruh, in the corner. Right? That's fucking weird. You know, that's definitely super, super weird. That's some good orange juice, man. 100% orange juice. Juicer, that's it. Um, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Guys, do me a favor, like the video. Like the video, ninjas. We got 2.9K watching on YouTube, and then we got another um, almost 1,000 on Rumble. So he walks in and he sees that, right? But when the guy spoke, he recognized his voice. That's when he knew it was Diddy. Okay, because the guy with the bandana had the, you know, obviously he still spoke. So they rubbed baby on each other. Then they had sex. And then he said that Diddy was in the corner whacking off. Okay. He got contacted by that. Then he said he got contacted by them again, like I think same day. And then he went back up there and they went for a few hours. Okay. He said that the first session didn't last that long. He didn't last that long. And then they asked him to come back up again. And he went back up and he was there for a few hours. They last met, they asked him, when's the last time you met with them? He said 2013, 2014. Let's see here. They use the nickname Black to me. Let's see. Okay, so this is where shit gets crazy. So he says that when he would have sex with Cassie, right after that first incident, Diddy would tell him what to do, and he would direct everything. He would tell them to put baby oil on each other. He would tell them, um, you know, positions, all this other stuff. He said one time that Diddy told them to pretend they were at an airport and they tried to role play them being at the airport. It didn't work too well. He said, just fuck it. So, you know, he was like the director. Think of him as like a porn a porn scene director. That's what Diddy was doing. He would tell them to be putting on the baby oil and everything. Now, in this one instance, right? And they asked him, "Did you have when you had sex with Cassie? Was it protected or unprotected?" He said it was unprotected, and he said that he would ejaculate either on her stomach or in her. Sorry, guys, getting graphic here. Um, and he said that Cassie asked him one time to urinate on her. He told her to get test results since they were having unprotected sex. He gave her his test results, but she never gave him her test results. He said Diddy recorded the sex on two different occasions. He recorded using cell phones and a camcorder. And Diddy took a picture of his driver's license, which obviously made him nervous, which is why he didn't end up, coming forward with a lot of this stuff later on, until later on. He says he saw Cassie under the influence of drugs once. They took ecstasy when they used to do this stuff. And he made somewhere between $700 to $6,000 every single time that they met up. Let's see. And yeah, so yeah, he would instruct this guy to, finish either inside her or on her stomach. And then he said that he started having performance problems, erectile dysfunction problems with having sex with Cassie because he saw Diddy hit her the first time. So the story basically goes like this: they finish a session of the freak off, right? So they have sex, whatever, and I've explained what a freak off is a million times. I think you guys know what it is now at this point. And Diddy and Cassie go into the room. Cassie comes back out a short time later and goes on her computer. She's like ordering something or whatever, right? He's sitting in the living room because the way these freak offs would work is they have sex, Diddy and Cassie go into the other room, and then he just sits there until they're ready to do another session. And then when they're ready to do another session, he engages. So she goes and where it doesn't work on the computer. I guess they're taking a, it's halftime or something, right? And Diddy says, "Hey, Cassie, come over here." And she says, "1 second, I'm gonna, my private information is up on screen, right?" Uh, and Diddy loses his mind, right? And he hears Diddy yell like, "What the fuck?" Blah blah. Blah. And the next thing you know, he takes a liquor bottle and he throws it at Cassie, and it hits the wall next to her and smashes into pieces. And he walks out the room, and he grabs her, and he like grabs her by her hair, and he drags her into the room. And then he said he heard slapping sounds, and he said ever since that day it was a lot harder for him to be able to get erect or hard when having sex with Cassie after he witnessed this beatdown. And he heard like slapping noise when they were in the room. I think I mentioned that. So yeah. So then on day 2, okay, they cross-examine him. Okay, so Diddy's defense cross-examines him. Now I'll be honest with you guys. The cross-examine lawyer, it was a black dude, tall black dude, bald. He kind of sucked. I ain't gonna lie to you. The nigga was trash. As I sip my coffee / tea. Uh, he was trash. Okay. Um, he was just yeah, he wasn't that good. But what I will say is that he there's one thing that he did that was good. Hold on one sec, chat. Um, okay, here we go. October 12th. So a few months after the assault, right? He sent a text message saying, "I love you guys." The dancer, this guy Phillips, he sent a text to them saying, "Hey, I love you guys," which kind of contradicted all the other statements he made where he didn't really that he was violent, he didn't like him like that, he cared a lot about Cassie, blah blah blah. And so the defense attorney was like, "Well, if that's the case, Why'd you send Diddy a message and Cassie a message saying, 'I love you guys'?" And he claims that he did it as a bait so he can get back in to see Cassie again and make sure that she was okay. That's what he claims. Okay. So okay. Now witness number 3. This was on day 2, I think. This is on like day 2. Cassie comes in. As you guys know, I broke down her testimony extensively. Please go back and watch those episodes. But what I will tell you guys, just for simplicity purposes, was this. I'm going to give you guys the overall summary on Cassie. But I did multiple days because she testified for multiple days, guys. She must have testified. I think they brought her on. She okay. So opening statements was Monday. Witness 1 was Monday. Witness 2, the stripper, was Monday, or sorry, Tuesday. I think Cassie took the stand on Tuesday. Yeah, I think she took the stand on Tuesday and she finished Friday. She was on the stand for 3 days. For 3 days. So, all right, we'll get into it. We'll summarize her thing. Okay. Okay, let's go through test. I'm going to give you guys Cassie's testimony. If you guys want more details, go watch the other episodes where I go into everything day per day. But I'm going to give you guys a very broad summary of it. I'm not going to cover every single detail because she testified for literally 3 different days. We're talking about maybe 20 hours plus of testimony from her. Okay, so okay, she met Diddy in roughly 2007. She was dating Ryan Leslie at the time. They had been together for 3 years. She was a model in New York City, and she met Diddy while being a model, and she met him through Ryan Leslie. Um, she ended up signing to Bad Boy Records, released her solo album, self-titled Cassie. And I think she said she met Diddy in 2004, if I'm not mistaken. She's 38 years old. Oh, also important note. This is very important. She's like 7 8 months pregnant, chat. She's very pregnant. Okay, extremely pregnant. All right. So anyway, she met Diddy early 2000s through Ryan Leslie, her boyfriend at the time. Her and Ryan Leslie were dating for about 3 years. She ended up getting signed to Bad Boy Records, a 10 album deal. She only released one album and one mixtape. Um, on her 21st birthday, okay, she's in Las Vegas and Diddy kisses her in the bathroom. This is the first time that they start having a romantic, somewhat relationship. What ended up happening was she later then went down to Miami to be with Diddy. She did a appearance at a club or whatever, and then they had sex for the first time, okay, in Miami. Mind you, she was still around Leslie at this time. After they have sex, they start to build a relationship. And within the first year or so of that relationship, Diddy introduces her to something called freak-offs. Freak-offs, guys, are where basically he's sitting in the corner gooning while she's having sex with male escorts. And once they do that one session and he's watching it and filming it and everything else like that, he, her and he go into the room. Now, the bombshell thing that was dropped was we found out that not only was these escorts having sex with Cassie, but they were ejaculating in her or on her. And when Diddy and Cassie were, when Cassie and the escort were done, and he would finish, Cassie would go into the room with Diddy, okay, and she would take the semen and smear it on his nipples or on his chest. I don't know. Fucking crazy. I know. Wild stuff. But that's what they were doing. Now, how do we know that this is probably true? The male stripper, remember the guy Phillips I told you guys about? He said during his testimony that Diddy one time he had lied about ejaculating in Cassie one time. He pretended that he came because he couldn't, like, I guess, come. So, Diddy and Cassie think the session's over, they go into the room. When they go into the room, Diddy comes back out and says, "Hey, bro, did you come? Like, did you actually, did you actually like finish?" And the guy was like, kind of bewildered, like he was like, "Yeah, I did," and he lied, but he actually didn't. Now we know why Diddy came back out asking that question, and this came revealed on Philip's testimony, and then when Cassie came on stand and talked about this whole smearing of semen on Diddy, it makes sense, right? Because remember, guys, Philip said that first, then Cassie got on the stand, and then she said that as well. So they were able to do what? Corroborate each other independently. All right? Very important stuff. I mean, disgusting, but important from an evidentiary perspective, is what I mean, and testimony perspective and credibility. But anyway, so um, so they would do these freak offs or whatever, and he introduced her to these freak offs. So they end up having, a relationship for many years, 10 plus, I think 11 years, right? From 2007 all the way up until like 2017, 2018-ish. And throughout the relationship, there was, many times where Diddy would beat her. He put her in hotels when she was beat because she didn't make. In one instance, she had like a scar on her eye when he hit her head against like a bed frame or whatever, and she had a really bad gash there. So he ended up getting her to a plastic surgeon to fix it, and she had to stay in a hotel, monitored by security for multiple days, until she recovered. Right, she would get black eyes, busted lips, etc. Basically, they had a very turbulent relationship with lots of violence. Um, and throughout her testimony, they showed evidence of text messages between her and Diddy where she expressed maybe some frustration towards all these freak offs because according to Cassie, these freak offs they did them like every week, and not only did they do them every week, but they would often do them where it was the only thing that she could focus on. She couldn't do anything else. Okay, because they would go for 24 hours all the way up until 4 days of these freak offs, and she said that they would do these freak offs by engaging in drug use, MDMA, GHB, ketamine, cocaine, Percocet, oxys, pretty much, every drug outside of like heroin and meth. They didn't use heroin or meth or anything like that, but mostly recreational party drugs is what they used. Okay. Um, and they used these drugs for many years. She admitted that both her and Diddy were addicts, and they both had a drug problem. And she told in one story how she punched Diddy in the face, okay, because they were at a club, and she was talking to a producer, and Diddy called her a slut. So when they got outside, she punched Diddy in the face, and he grabbed her and he threw her at the bottom of the SUV, like in the floorboard, and he like stomped her like for 10 minutes or some shit on their way back home. and she had all these bruises and cuts and everything else like that. And we didn't stop her for 10 minutes, but it was like a 10-minute ride. And throughout the ride, he would hit her after she punched him. And after that, after they got back to their place, she had all these cuts or whatever. He, put her in a hotel so that she can recover in there, so people wouldn't see her. Diddy was very good about whenever they had a violent altercation and she got a scar. He was good about you know concealing that. Him and Cassie were actually good about concealing it because she would put makeup on. He would put her in a hotel, put her in touch with plastic surgeons, etc. Let's see here. And guys, if you have questions, get them in. Get your questions in chat while you guys can. Because I'm definitely gonna do answer questions at the end. But I'm trying to get through this stuff right here with what's going on. Mary says this is an extreme case of the Mexican chick, but it doesn't kind of prove from your dating show that females can be jealous and drama towards. Yeah, absolutely, Mary. Let's see here. And then she named, a bunch of different escorts that she had. I would say during the course of this trial, guys, we were talking about maybe somewhere between 15 to 20 escorts that she had sex with, that they used, that Diddy would, obviously be directing and everything else like that. As they were doing this stuff, they would have these sex parties in Miami, Los Angeles, and Miami, Los Angeles, and New York. Chief Rocka says R.I.P. Thor. Yes, I heard the news. Yes, rest in peace of Thor, man. Rest in peace of Thor. For those of you guys that don't know, Thor was a guy. I actually met him through Jonathan from Modern Life Dating, John at MLD. He was a power linesman. He taught guys how to be durable. He has a book out on it. He tragically passed away today. My condolences go out to him and his family. Absolutely horrible. Um, I know it wasn't a painful death, which I'm glad for that. But yeah, rest in peace to Thor. Deepest condolences go out to his family. He did an episode with us actually not too long ago, guys. It was a fantastic episode, one of my favorites actually, where he talked about how to become a power lineman, how to get into the trades, and thanks to Thor, this is something that we've been kind of like trying to do. So yeah, maybe we'll say they're like a Thor type episode where we bring somebody in from the blue collar world to talk about trades. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. Rest in peace to Thor. He passed away earlier today. Yeah, Rio, you're getting banned for that, bro. You're banned for that, bro. Yeah, you're banned for that. You piece of shit, bro. Fuck you, man. What a fucking piece of shit, bro. And fucking incredible people, bro. And fucking incredible. Not even gonna dignify what you just said in the chat. You fucking piece of shit for that. You're banned for life for that, bro. You're banned for fucking life. Bitch ass nigga. Fuck you. Say that shit about someone that I fucking respected and was good friends with. You fucking scumbag. Incredible, bro. Fucking piece of shit, bro. All right. So we'll keep going on. We'll keep going on. So Cassie also talked about how Diddy was like, he would when he would facilitate these sessions, these sex sessions, how it would go down. So basically, her and the escort would stare at each other and masturbate, right? And as Cassie was masturbating, looking at the escort, she would describe what she was seeing, and Diddy would be in the corner gooning. I know it's weird. Then from there, they would start touching each other and putting baby oil on each other. Diddy wanted them glistening, literally shiny. Then they'd go into oral sex. Then they'd go into sex. Sometimes while they were having the sex, Diddy would come in and also get involved. He'd tell the escort, "Hey, take a seat. I'm going to get in now." So they did this, you know, pretty often. Uh, the freak off would consist of where there'd be like 3 to 4 guys, and each session lasted between 1 to 3 hours. But the freak off itself, so a session is something within the actual bigger freak off. So the bigger freak off is here, and then the session, goes multiple sessions in said freak off. Okay. Um, yeah, and Maz, that guy Rio that said that shit about Thor, just for you're banned from life from my chat, bro, for that shit. Look, you guys want to talk shit about me, you guys want to make fun of me, that's cool. You guys don't give a fuck about that, but you're not gonna fucking speak ill of the dead. This dumbass said, "All right, we smoking that Thor pack? All right, nigga, we're smoking your pack now. You're banned for life for saying that shit about him. You fucking piece of shit." Thor was one of the nicest guys ever. I never once heard him say anything bad about anybody. He was always positive. He only gave value. He didn't get into the beef shit. He helped so many guys get blue collar jobs, earn their first 6 figures. He told guys that there was another way besides just getting involved with, getting a college degree. And the dude was a wealth of information, man. He was like an uncle. Okay, so you go ahead and you fucking say that shit about him, like fuck you. You are banned for life from my chat, Rio. Fuck you, dude. Seriously. You want to talk shit about me? That's fine, but you're not gonna talk shit about, you know, my friends that passed away, especially on the day that he passed away. You fucking scumbag. Incredible, and fucking incredible. And I'm calling you out for it too, because you really are a piece of shit for doing that. If someone in your family died, I wouldn't dare say anything as disrespectful as that. Let's see here. Okay, so we talked about the different stuff with Cassie. Okay, so that's how everything worked when it came to Cassie and her situation with how it came with Cassie and Diddy, how they met, the background, whatever. Also, there was discussion about his jealousy. Okay, so on Cassie's side, she was jealous of um, Kim Porter and a girl named Gina that Diddy would deal with, and other women as well. But the two main ones were Kim Porter and Gina. Kim Porter was his long-term girlfriend that he had a kid with, and Gina was a girl that he often saw on and off. And she ended up breaking up with him because she saw a photo or a video of Diddy with Gina at an award ceremony or some kind of ceremony. Um, and then Diddy, on the other hand, was jealous of her whenever she dated celebrities. So she was seeing Kid Cudi at the end of 2011. This obviously led to some problems and some violence. And she ended up, not dating him long term, but Diddy really hated that. Also, there was allegations of her dancing with Chris Brown, and he took her phone, and an NFL player, etc. So, though Diddy didn't care that his girlfriend had sex with escorts, he did care if she was out dating other celebrities in the industry. That would piss Diddy off quite a bit, which you would think is counterproductive, but I think a lot of it is obviously to protect his image for obvious reasons. So, yeah, yeah. Let's see here. So, guys, I'm summarizing like 20 hours of testimony for you guys. There was so much stuff. I'm just giving you guys some of the most pertinent stuff. Uh, yep, Cassie would recruit the escorts. She would be the ones to call them to show up. She would pay them often. Diddy did sometimes as well. They also talk about. They also talked a lot about how. Hold on one sec, chat. The text messages. Yep, the jealousy. Covered that. Oh, also they talked about how they had a couple of scares, Diddy and Cassie, where there were individuals that would threaten to release videos or said that they knew about sex videos that were out, and her and Diddy would kind of work together to help get these things like squashed. So in one example, there was a guy named Sujay who claimed he had a sex video. Cassie obviously freaks out is after this guy says that he had seen or had a sex video, because she didn't know if they had the freak out videos or something else. So she contacted Diddy. Diddy says, hey, don't let that guy at her site handle it. So Cassie records herself talking to this guy, and she's like threatening him, hey, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't give me this shit. You know, let me see the video, let me see the video, because this guy Suja is like a drunk retard. He says, oh yeah, actually I have the video on my phone. She's like, all right, let me see it. And he like never showed it to her. So maybe he was bluffing, maybe he was being a drunk moron, who knows. But the point is we got to see another side of Cassie that we had never seen, because she was willing to use violence to be able to get it. And she even said herself, I'm not going to be the one to do anything. I'm not going to get blood on my hands, but you better give me the video or else we're going to kill you and bury you. We're going to fuck you up. And she made like 3 to 5 of these threats in this one single recording. And, you know, when they played this out in court, everyone was like, oh shit, you know, because you could see the anger in Cassie's voice. So, and then there was another escort that threatened to release a video, a freak out video, and Diddy ended up paying him off. So they both definitely had an interest to keep these freak out videos behind the scenes. Now, it's very important for you guys to realize, though, that one of the reasons why Cassie said why she wouldn't leave, because I'm sure a lot of you guys might be wondering, well, why didn't Cassie just leave if Diddy was so bad? She claims that he oversaw her career, he would release the freak out videos, and it would destroy her career. That's why and the violence. So she claimed that she was scared and she didn't want to, you know, leave for these reasons. But then the defense came back and said, well, you know, you think Diddy's going to release these videos. Well, how did he spend? He spent a significant amount of money. He worked with you to, you know, silence people that had the videos. Why would he release a freak out video? And then on top of that, the defense also attacked Cassie because the freak out videos, guys, that they used as evidence actually came from where? Cassie's phones. They did not come from Diddy's phones. So that's also a very important distinction that the defense made sure to you know, to put that out, because most of us thought that the freak out videos came from Diddy when the police or the feds searched his houses, but it didn't. It actually came from Cassie, from old cell phones and iPads and laptops that she had, which was very interesting to see. Okay, now the big one, and I talked about this 2 days ago, but I'll bring it up again. So she made an allegation that Diddy raped her in 2018. Okay, um, basically, long story short, they went to they met up. So they had their ups and downs in a relationship. At this point, she's dating her new boyfriend, who would later become her husband, Alex, a personal trainer that Diddy once hired for her. Right? They meet up in 2018 in LA, Malibu to be exact, at an Italian restaurant. As they're eating at the Italian restaurant, they're having discussion, talking, catching up. Diddy takes her back home to her house, drops her off. He goes in with her. He grapes her in her living room, according to her. Now, after she had this encounter with him, this non-consensual encounter, there were text messages being put back and forth between the two. And one of them, she says, let me actually have it here. Hit me when you can. Literally. And I have it written down. This verbatim, this is what it is. If you guys can see that. Hit me when you can with a heart emoji. This is what they showed in court. Okay. This is a few days after the alleged rape. On August 21st, 2018. Diddy says, okay, I'm at an investor conference. She says, I'm calling straight to, it goes straight to voicemail. Or that's what Diddy told her. She said, thank you. And then Diddy said, I know I look bad to you. I could tell you weren't turned on. I fell off. I'll get my shit together yesterday. I'll get my shit together. Right? I know you weren't turned on yesterday. So we know now that the grape was around August 20th. Right? And again, there's dispute with the date, but I'm like, you know, kind of summarizing this for you. She said one thing in testimony versus one thing in her lawsuit, whatever, but we're just sticking to like the more pertinent facts. And she ended up hanging out with Diddy after this alleged grape on an occasion, September 12th, 2018, where they went to, or no, they were communicating with each other. They're communicating with each other, and they saw each other at a party, okay, at a mutual friend's birthday party, and they were talking. Now everything kind of comes to a head at September 27th, 2018. So roughly 1 month later, she has sex with Diddy. She goes and hangs out with him, and they have sex. Her husband, her current husband, aka boyfriend, FaceTime calls her. She denies the call, okay, and she was with Diddy that day. Now, obviously, the courtroom was like, "Oh shit," when this happened, because how are you communicating with and seeing an individual that allegedly raped you, right? Doesn't make sense. Um, and her thing was, well, we knew each other for a while. We had a relationship together, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, I'll leave it up to you guys. You guys can decide what you guys think and that. But the facts are this. They met up at a restaurant when they were on a break and not together anymore. They had a discussion. He takes her home. He allegedly rapes her. After the rape happens, they continue to have communication via text message. They meet up on, I think, two separate occasions. On one of the occasions, it was at a mutual friend's birthday party. And then the second occasion where they met up and they had sex, her boyfriend called on FaceTime and she declined the call. Okay. Very important. But speaks a lot to, you know, is it legit or not? And I'll let you guys decide in the chat. And then next, they brought in the next witness that they brought was Special Agent Vinda. Okay. And this agent, Yasin Binda. She's an agent for 5 years. They conducted the search warrant at the place. I think the most pertinent stuff from her is they took a bunch of baby oil that was at the house. They had a bunch. No, after they arrested him, they searched his hotel room in Manhattan, and there was a bunch of baby oil there, ketamine, $9,000 in cash, which they shouldn't have taken, and the defense kind of beat them on that, which I talked to you guys about last episode. You know, as an agent, like you know, you don't want to take seize money unless you know 100% that's from criminal proceeds. And in this case with Diddy, this is a rare situation where you have someone who's committing crimes not for financial gain. So, you know, taking that money was stupid, especially since it was legit and it ended up making her look stupid. But that's fine. But yeah, they found bottles of lube and baby oil all over the place. And yeah, crazy stuff. And he had like 5 phones that they took. And then the next person they got, the next witness, that she was on the stand very short. She was on the stand maybe for an hour total, the agent. And that's because she oversaw the first search warrant at the hotel. And the next person they brought was, I think, Dawn Richard, a member of former Danity Kane. And she worked under Diddy. And the big thing with her is she witnessed Diddy beat Cassie at his house in LA right somewhere in 2009, and she said that she saw Diddy come downstairs, um, and yell, "Hey, where's my fucking eggs?" Because Cassie was cooking eggs, and this was at nighttime, by the way. And uh, you know, he walked up to her and he like threw her on the floor, or he tried to hit her with a skillet, according to Dawn. Cassie kind of saw it coming and went down to the floor like in a fetal position like this, and he was like just kicking and punching her while she was on the floor. And then he dragged her back upstairs. This is at his LA house. Then he dragged her back upstairs, and they heard, you know, glass crashing everywhere and yelling and stuff like that. Then the next day, Diddy tells them to come and record music because this was a part of their group, Diddy Dirty Money, with Dawn and Diddy and this other individual, Carmina Piper, whatever the hell, Carmina Happier, whatever. So when he brought them back the second time to record music, you know, he goes into the studio with them and he locks the door. He says, "Hey guys, look what y'all saw. You know, that's just passion, that's love. You know, I'm trying to take you guys to the top. Don't say a word about this. You know, when people talk about stuff like this, they typically go missing." And yeah, and then he gave them flowers, which is fucking wild that he, you know, just basically threatened them, then gave them flowers after. And then after that, you know, they adjourned court because it was 5 p.m. She had only been on the stand for about 30 minutes when the judge says, you know, hey, that's it. So that's the summary, guys, of the situation. If you guys go on my channel, I have day by day breakdowns in way more detail on each day if you guys want. But for the purposes of today's stream, obviously, you know, I wanted to keep it short and sweet and give you guys the most pertinent stuff. Let's go through some of these chats. It's amazing that you're with your immediate family. What's a traditional dinner for you guys? My mom actually cooks healthy food for me, even though they eat a lot of Sudanese food. Now that we know Diddy's parties were never what they seemed, why didn't anyone defend him once it was clear the case was going to trial and the truth would come out? And do you think any celebrities will take the stand? I don't know, bro. I don't know if any celebrities will take the stand. I know a couple have already taken a stand against him, Cassie and this Dawn chick. But yeah, the Diddy parties. The Diddy, this stuff was never at these freak offs never happened at the Diddy parties. You know, they never happen at the Diddy parties. These freak offs actually occurred completely separate of the Diddy parties, which is Cassie and escorts. So it's not as crazy as people thought. And that's from Dominicano. Okay, Dominicano says, let's see, what else do we got here? We got Diaz Milky says, the fight is never over. Keep leading from the front. Appreciate that, my friend. Which way is this trial leaning, in your opinion, conviction or acquittal? It's too hard to tell, bro. It's a toss up. Both parties have done really good jobs. I talked about this actually, how the lawyers were battling each other on my last stream. So that make sure to go check that out. But dude, it's a toss up, bro. It's really a toss up at this point. Myron, was Javi ever get convicted for dealing the Diddy oil? I don't know what you mean by that, bro. Let me see here. So anyway, guys, get your chats in. Cassie or sorry, Josie, can you do me a favor? Can you shit. You know what, guys? I might have to do a switcheroo. Guys, I'm gonna have to probably do a switcheroo. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna switch my phones because on this phone I'm not logged into Stream Elements, so I want to be able to read your guys' chats. So bear with me for 2 seconds. Bear with me for 2 seconds while I do this switcheroo. Okay. Give me 1 sec. All right. Give me 1 sec, chat. Let me switch this thing up real fast. All right. You guys should be able to hear me. All right. You guys got good audio and everything. Let me check this. Give me 1 sec, ninjas. I think we're good. All right, give me O slash so everything is good in chat, guys. Give me O slash as if everything is good. Give me O slash as if everything is good. Audio is good? Nice. Yeah, guys, I bought a new I got new Rode mics. So I'm gonna give y'all way better audio. I literally got new Rode mics. Um so the audio you guys are noticing is probably significantly more crispy. All right, good. Good. All right. No, I'm not bringing my parents on. You guys will never see my parents. Sorry. Uh I've accepted the fact that I'm a public figure. I don't want my parents dealing with the bullshit that that comes with being a public figure. They already get harassed enough just for being my parents. Okay, stream elements. All right, I'm in here. Okay, let's look at some of these chats. 1929G says, "Is there other freak off trials coming down the line? When the Bieber freak off trial?" Bieber's team actually came out, guys, and said that that they were not. His team actually came out and said that uh, that there was no freak offs with him and that there was no abuse. Which I guess take it for what it's worth. You know what I mean? Is it true or not? Who knows? But that's what they're saying. Hold on, Chad. I'm trying to fix this fucking thing here, man. Nope, that's not it. whatever. Okay. So I'm going through. Let me look here. Judge Wood says, was argument between lawyers not to allow text message evidence after a certain date that would show Cassie still having sex months later, years later? No, they were objecting a lot of the times to information that might make Cassie look extremely promiscuous under something called Rule 412, which is, basically it's rules of federal rules of evidence that would that is designed to protect victims of sex crimes. Based on what you know up to this point in the trial, would you guess going to jail or has a chance to walk away scot free? Also, think that defense grilling Cassie is a big red pill moment to show how women really move with the stuff she done. Yeah, this trial does show a lot of very uncomfortable red pill truths. Absolutely. So um so yeah, I definitely see that perspective. Um, let's see here. And also, yeah, I will say, guys, he has a chance to walk free, but keep in mind that the government still has like 15 witnesses. I think the government total has like 17 witnesses, if I'm not mistaken. So we still got a lot of testimony to go. Guys, this trial's gonna last 2 months. Okay, they're gonna have this trial's gonna go until like July. Hung Epstein says, you chatting out while she was chimping out was epic. Awesome content, bro. My favorite and best content creator out right now. Wire and Love from North Dakota. Appreciate you, bro. I appreciate that greatly. Guys, I'm telling y'all, man, I'm the most diversified, baby. I could break down cases with you guys, cover the news, all kinds of stuff. So, um, so yeah. Carlos Ramirez says, thanks for the breakdown on this case. My girl has seen some crazy TikTok spreading fake news, saying Diddy smashed her on his dad's grave. That's not true. So I made her watch all your videos. Best Diddy breakdown on YouTube. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, guys, I'm actually there. I'm in the courthouse, baby. I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I'm gonna go to the courthouse tomorrow as well. I'm probably gonna go early in the morning. I'm gonna leave Connecticut, jump on a train, go down to Manhattan, and be there early in the morning to cover the case. So this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to give you guys the most relevant info. Of course, for the purposes of this breakdown, I kept it nice and short to but the other stuff has way more detail. Air Match says, going from waves to an ass self cut is brazy. I used to admire you, Brie. What does my hair have to do with anything? Weird. Okay. Let's see here. Makes me on some weirdo time, bro. What the hell? Did you see Rotten Mango Asian Girl? Yeah, I didn't even know who the hell she was, bro. Uh, I have no idea, but yeah, she has 5 million. She has 5 million subscribers. This girl, but yeah, I've seen her in the courtroom. She's there. This Asian girl. She's getting millions of views on this shit. That's crazy, bro. Is she live streaming this shit? No, she's not live streaming. It's edited. Is presumed innocent until proven guilty. The burden of proof is the responsibility of the prosecution. Everything reported on in this episode and yeah, she has 5 million subscribers. I didn't know who this girl was before the trial, but she is there, guys. She is there. But my breakdowns are better, bro. Come on, man. You guys know this. My breakdowns are way better. We're gonna take over, chat. We're gonna take over. Let me see here. Guys, get your questions in now. But I will be there to reporting for you guys tomorrow as well. Do not worry. I got you, ninjas. Let me see what else we got here. Going through the chat. You guys put poisonous mango. Bro, my girl watches her. Yeah. Yeah. I like I said, yeah, but yes, I did see the rotten mango Asian girl. I did see her. True, Law and True Crime is here too. Law and Crime is here as well. You guys know that YouTube channel? The one I react to it quite a bit on my channel. They're here as well, chat. So, So yeah. What else? Did I link up with Aki? I went to his I went to his event. He had a live event. I went to that. Okay. Going through looking at your guys' stuff here. When you coming back to Miami? I think I'm gonna come back to Miami. I think Wednesday, chat. I'm gonna go back to Miami. I think Wednesday. I think that is gonna be the day, my friends. All right. Cool. I don't see anything else here, guys. So I think I'm gonna get ready for the gym, get a workout in, and then give y'all a show tomorrow. Rod says, "Thank you for all you do, Myron. You're the freaking best. I appreciate it, man. I'll continue to give you guys the heat, man. Don't worry." All right. Let me look here, make sure I didn't miss anything from you guys. Do a meet and greet in Connecticut. I'm gonna leave Connecticut soon, guys. I'm not gonna be here much longer. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave probably this tomorrow morning, early, super early. So anyway, guys, love y'all. I don't want to have this thing just drag on. You know, had a nice short and sweet stream here with the you know, most pertinent stuff from each person's testimony. We're gonna go ahead and cover the trial for tomorrow when with Dawn. We're gonna continue her testimony, and yeah, it's gonna be good. Also, like I said, I think I'll be back in Miami uh, Monday or Tuesday, or no, not Monday. I'll be back Tuesday or Wednesday. And then what I'll do also, guys, is I'll give you guys a longer stream, um, maybe tomorrow, where I cover the news and stuff like that too. Because I definitely want to get into politics. There's been a lot of developments in the Middle East with what's going on. Trump just got back. So I want to definitely give you guys a breakdown on all that stuff as well, which I'll probably do that for you guys maybe tomorrow, is what I'm thinking. Tomorrow, or if not, Tuesday, the absolute latest. Tuesday, the absolute latest. Tuesday, I'll definitely, it's either going to be tomorrow or Tuesday, do a long stream for you guys and break down everything, cover the Middle East, cover the news, cover all that stuff. All right? Anyway, love you guys. Shorter stream, but short and sweet. You guys have the summary of what went down this week. I got you guys tomorrow. Going to cover the second day of Dawn's testimony. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, 5 p.m. Probably 6 p.m. Yeah, 6 p.m. because court gets out at 5, guys. So I'm going to do my stream at 6, an hour later. All right? Love you guys. Peace.